If you follow the news at all, you'd think that the world map is in constant chaos. Wars breaking out, governments collapsing, territories occupied, borders under pressure. It feels like the map of the world must be changing all the time. And if that's true, then what's the point of printing one? By the time the ink dries, it's already out of date, right? I run a map printing company. We've been manufacturing wall maps since 2012. And one of the most common things I hear from customers, from friends, from people online is some version of, don't maps go out of date really fast? It's a fair question, so I want to answer it. Let's take a look at the last 10 years of world history and count every change that would actually be visible on a standard political wall map of the world. I think the answer is going to surprise you. Let's start with where most people's minds go first. New countries. The last country to gain internationally recognized independence was South Sudan in 2011. That's not 10 years ago, that's 15. Before that, it was Kosovo in 2008, which is still not universally recognized. Before that, Montenegro in 2006. So in the last decade, 2016 to today, the total number of new countries that have appeared on a world map is 0. Think about that for a second. In the early 1990s, 26 countries joined the United Nations. The Soviet Union dissolved. Yugoslavia fractured. The map was being redrawn every few months. If you grew up in that era, you internalized a sense that the borders are fluid, that the map is always shifting. But that era ended, and nothing replaced it. Okay, so no new countries. Surely borders have moved, though, right? This is where people think about Russia and Ukraine. And yes, Russia has claimed annexation of Crimea in 2014 and 4 additional Ukrainian regions in 2022. But here's the cartographic reality. Most major map publishers do not show those territories as Russian. They show them as Ukraine, with a note or a dashed line indicating disputed control. The international community, with very few exceptions, does not recognize those border changes. So on most world maps you'd buy today, the borders of Ukraine look the same as they did in 2013. There is no consensus on border changes in the last 10 years that would alter the lines on a standard world political map. So what has changed? Names. A handful of names. In 2018, the King of Swaziland announced that the country would now be called Eswatini. The name means land of the Swazis in the local Swazi language, and the change was partly to distinguish the country from Switzerland, something that had apparently caused real confusion in international contexts. Swaziland, Switzerland, I guess it's not hard to see how. In 2019, Macedonia officially became North Macedonia. This one had been a diplomatic fight with Greece for nearly 30 years. Greece has a province called Macedonia and objected to the country using the same name. The resolution? Adding North took decades of negotiation, a few letters and a space. In 2022, Turkey formally requested that the international community use the name Türkiye instead. The motivation was partly branding, distancing the country from the English word for a bird, and partly cultural, asserting the Turkish language name on the global stage. That same year, Kazakhstan changed its capital name from Nur Sultan back to Astana. The name was temporarily changed to honor the outgoing president and was restored to Astana after 3 years. And then there's Czechia, the short form name for the Czech Republic. That was formally registered with the UN in 2016, though both names remain in use. And that's the list. In 10 years, no new countries, no recognized border changes, 5 name updates, 3 countries and a capital, and the capital was just changing its name back. So if you bought a world map in 2016, the only things wrong with it are the words Swaziland, Macedonia, and the spelling of Turkey. The borders, every line, every shape, every coastline are identical. It's not just that the map happened to not change, it's that the world has actively resisted changing it. Since the end of the Cold War, there's been a strong international norm against redrawing borders. The United Nations, major powers, and regional organizations almost universally oppose secession and territorial conquest. People assume maps go out of date because they confuse news with cartography. A war does not change a map. A political crisis does not change a map. Even an invasion doesn't necessarily change a map if the international community refuses to recognize the result. The things that change maps are the boring things. treaties, diplomatic agreements, UN votes. And those, it turns out, almost never happen anymore. So when someone asks me, doesn't a printed map go out of date? I tell them, your phone goes out of date in 2 years. Your car's navigation system is obsolete the day you drive it off the lot. But a printed world map? The one hanging on your wall right now? Wait, you have one, right? If it was printed any time in the last decade, it's almost certainly still accurate. And if it's not, the only thing wrong with it is a name, which honestly you probably didn't know changed in the first place. That's not a product that goes out of date. That's one of the most stable objects in your house.